What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Today is Sunday, August 28th. It's day 54 inside the Big Brother house. And today's big news was all about the veto competition. Who won? What happened? What's the plans going to be now afterwards? We're going to break down everything that happened on the live feed yesterday. So, before we get into the actual veto, there were a few things that happened beforehand. Not a lot. Most of it didn't really matter. Like, there was a conversation between Taylor and Alyssa, who they just kind of went back and forth with each other. Taylor actually kind of threw Joseph under the bus, blaming him for wanting to get Alyssa up on the block during her HOH week and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of a thing. Michael had a convo with Taylor where he doubled down on what he told her yesterday that we covered in the video, which most of you were like, he would never. I'm like, it came out of his mouth. It came out of his mouth. He doubled down saying that if he won veto, he would use it on her and leave Brittany up there. And there are a few reasons on why it would make sense. He kind of views Taylor as a better competition competitor than it would be to keep Brittany. And he knows, like, going forward, HOHs and veto are so going to be huge now that the lines have been drawn. So it makes sense for him that way. Also, there's potential that Brittany would be more likely to stay if she's left up on the block. So that way there's a chance they could have 3 allies instead of just 2. But really that only is going to come into play is if they get Monte up there and the other side of the house decide they want to take that shot. Or if they can get Terrance, Alyssa, or Kyle up there. But again, this all comes down to they need to win veto first. And we'll get there in just a bit. Kyle and Terrance, they will not play in the veto. The picks when they finally came in, Monte, Michael, and Alyssa were all picked to play in the veto competition, so they would join the nominees and the HOH, Brittany, Taylor, and Turner. So those are the 6 that will be competing in it. There also was a little bit of a cam talk beforehand with Michael kind of saying, he's like, I'm winning this veto. Next week, I'm winning HOH, and I'm putting Kyle and Turner up on the block. It was kind of like this, kind of pump up moment he had right beforehand. Brittany also said that she wants to talk to Turner about the Cookout 2.0 stuff after the veto is played. And then Alyssa and Kyle had a little convo where she kind of filled him in on her conversation with Taylor and how that went. But really, the more interesting story that comes out of this was how hard Kyle was bashing Monte and Joseph. He was calling Monte like the villain of the season and stuff. And it's like, all right, maybe like week 1, 2, maybe even 3-ish, you could say like, yeah, Monte was the villain, but there was definitely a point where he turned and he started making his redemption arc of the season. So he's not the villain anymore. You're the villain of the season, and there's nothing wrong with being the villain, right? Like, every season needs a villain. Kyle is 100% the villain right now. But then he makes it even more obvious that he's the villain by calling Joseph scum. It's like, yikes, my dude. Like, you don't need to be making like personal attacks like that. And like, you just, why? Chill, bro. Like, chill out. Like, relax a little bit. Brittany also later had a conversation with Alyssa after this, before the veto, about how, the leftovers were formed and everything that happened that night, and explaining just like a lot of other like things. But she said there's more, but she doesn't want to go into detail right now, but it's stuff that could affect people outside the house, the Cookout 2.0 stuff. And she said, well, we want to talk to you like later. So that's definitely going to be messy. I think all those conversations are going to happen today on the live feeds. So look out for those. It's going to be kind of an interesting day, to say the least. That eventually does bring us to the veto competition, which, by the way, there was a lot of rumors that it was going to be Zingbot. It was not Zingbot. So listen, all those like spoiler accounts that are out there on Twitter, hey, 1 out of 4 of your spoilers being correct, that's not bad, right? That's a pretty good job. It's a pretty good guess. Pretty good guess on your spoilers. Again, we get into the veto competition, which happened very late in the evening. It sounds like it had a sponsor because the winner also gets to go to a movie night kind of prize, and they get to pick some people to go with them. So there was a lot of discussion after the competition about like, oh, who's gonna go? Who's gonna go? The winner of the veto, though, the winner was Michael. Michael wins his 5th veto competition of the season and his 7th competition total. He ties the record for the veto wins. He also is now just 2 away from the overall record of comp wins in a season. Janelle holds that with 9 from BB7. So he just needs 2 more wins. If those 2 wins are HOH wins, he ties the record for HOH wins in a season. So he's got a lot of records that he could tie or break. And there's still a few more weeks to go, so we'll see how that all goes. He tells Brittany that he's going to use the veto on her. But this is when Brittany asks him, she's like, you're using the veto on me. He's like, yeah. And I'm still not 100% sure, and I don't, at this point, know if Michael even knows 100% what he'll do. I think it's a decision that's really kind of weighing heavy on him, because obviously Brittany is like his best friend in the house, but is she the best person to help him win going forward? And that's the thing he's struggling with the most right now. Taylor might be the better ally who could win more competitions and help him get further, but it's his best friend that he's probably sending to jury. So it's really tough. It's a really tough decision for him to make. We'll see what eventually happens with it. He's got all day today, and then tomorrow is the actual veto ceremony on Monday. So we'll see how that all kind of breaks down, but definitely going to be not an easy decision for him to make. It also depends a lot on who gets put up, but we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. They also want to talk, Brittany and Taylor and Michael, they want to talk to Monte and Taylor about the Cookout 2.0 stuff. They want to bring it up to them and tell them everything about it, because they don't want to just go around saying this around the house without their support in it as well. So we'll see how that convo goes today. Turner and Michael eventually had the conversation up in HOH after kind of everybody kind of ate and showered and relaxed a little bit. And it was your typical HOH to veto winner conversation where neither wants to kind of say everything, where he was like, yeah, I probably will use it, but who do you have an idea on who the replacement would be? Turner says Terrance and Alyssa would probably be the replacements. But again, that could be a lie that he's telling to Michael. And, it was just kind of that back and forth of like, we'll just see how everything goes. And, he's like, I never wanted you on the block. You did. And then he's like, just asking, next week, would I be a target of yours? Cause I put your friends up and stuff. And he's like, oh no. Yeah, is the real answer. But he obviously didn't say that to him. And he says Taylor would be his target, right? So like he would understand if he uses on Brittany, and then Taylor would be the one that would probably go, which again kind of leads Michael into that thing of like, maybe it's a good idea to keep Taylor. We'll see how it all plays out. They also had more of the mention of the movie. That's kind of where I got that information was when he was like, so, you excited for the movie? Who you taking, right? And there was a lot more convos about that afterwards as well. Interesting, though, while that conversation was happening, there was another little convo between Taylor and Monte in the kitchen, and it was your typical just like, yeah, it's really important to keep Monte off, because if Monte goes up, then they don't really have the votes either way. And then they were like, it would really suck because, we're 2 black people that would be on the nomination block together again. And they were like, yeah, can you believe that happened like week 1? And it's like, where's the cookout, right? So they're making jokes about the cookout, and then today, I should say, they're getting information on the theory that there was a cookout 2.0. So again, it's like, this is gonna be messy. This is gonna be some messy stuff that's gonna happen today. So we'll see how it all goes. Kyle and Monte had a little talk about what was happening with the competition and how Michael just killed it. He was just crushing it. And they want to make it so it's the house versus Michael. And Monte kind of was like, we might be able to do that. You know, Taylor and Brittany, like, they both had a conversation with me about how at some point we got to take a shot at them, but, you know, maybe they'll be on board with it, whoever ends up staying, right? Now, this next part is kind of how we ended the night, because everybody was really tired from the competition. It was a big one. So they were all really kind of exhausted and really just wanted to get some good sleep. But Alyssa and Kyle got into another one of their little, like, mini fights. And normally, like, listen, these happen a lot, so it's like, why even bring it up, right? But when I first caught on that there was, like, a problem was they were having, like, a little conversation while she was taking a shower. And she was, you know, just like, yeah, you know, I kind of need some space. And here's another thing. Alyssa has this thing where she's like, yeah, when I'm in a fight, right, like, I need, like, 3 things. Either advice, or when I'm upset, I need, like, 3 things. Advice, comfort, or space. And Kyle, like, can't remember this. Every single time they have a fight, he's always like, which one of the 3 things do you need? What, space? What are the other 2? Like, I can't remember. It's like, dude, if I can remember this, like, you have to remember this. You guys boinked. Like, you gotta remember this. So he never remembers that kind of stuff. And again, like, why does this really matter? Well, it's going to have ramifications on Michael and Brittany's plans. So this ends up to a little fight. She was like, look, I just need some space. Wait for me up in the tiki room. He goes up to the tiki room. She never goes up there. He then comes down and goes, now I need space because you made me wait. Okay, this seems like, all right, maybe this is kind of perfect. She'll be in the mindset where she's already kind of mad at Kyle in the morning, and maybe Brittany and Michael can slip in there, give her this information on what happened with Kyle, and then everything will kind of more likely go that way where she ends up believing it. Who knows? But she ended up waiting up for Turner. She was like, look, you know, can we have a chat upstairs? So they go up to HOH, and she kind of fills him in on the whole fight that she was having with Kyle and how it was making her feel. And she's like, it's so crazy because, like, we're in a relationship. Can I even call it a relationship in this house? But he's been lying to me for weeks. And kind of like talked her down and was like, look, you know, like, it's not like that, right? But she then brings up Michael and Brittany wanting to talk to her. And she doesn't bring up that Brittany already told her about the leftovers, but she said, like, I assume it's that they want to talk to me about the leftovers. Well, you know, but maybe there's something else to it. I don't know. And Turner's like, listen, whatever they tell you, just know, like, it's to put a wedge in between, like, you and Kyle, or me and you. Like, if they say something about me, like, let me know, please. So what seemed to be kind of a nice little perfect storm of maybe this can set up to Alyssa actually believing Michael and Brittany when they tell her this stuff, now might even backfire even more, because Turner's already told her whatever they say is to ruin her game, not to help her. So we'll see how this all really plays out. I honestly don't see how revealing the Cookout 2.0 stuff is going to benefit them. I think if anything, it's going to hurt them, and people are going to think they're making it up and it's spiteful. But it's gonna be messy. It's gonna be messy today. So the feeds are definitely gonna be interesting. You're gonna want to see the update for tomorrow on how everything goes down as well. We do also have an episode tonight, and I think I'm gonna be trying to go live on Twitch, do a little watch along over there. We don't show as much of the stuff that we do over here. I definitely can't show really anything at all over on Twitch. They're much stricter on things. YouTube, I can get away with a little bit here and there. They still don't like me to do it. Over on Twitch, I definitely can't do that, but it is always a good time to kind of hang out over on Twitch. And if you want to get all the links for my socials, including Twitch, they'll be down in the description down below. Pinned comment as well for things like my Twitter, the Twitch, Discord, so you can follow all that stuff that you want, ignore what you don't. And as always, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you made it to the end of this video, smash that like button right down there. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, you never miss a stream. Other than that, let me know in those comments down below, what do you think of how's everything's going on? Oh, here's another thing. I don't know what Turner will do. because all of this comes down to who he will nominate as the replacement. And a lot of people were thinking it's going to be Monte, which, yes, Kyle's probably going to push for Monte to be the one to go up other than Terrance and Alyssa. But I don't know if Turner wants to put Monte up. He was very adamant that Monte is somebody he wanted to bring into the fold because he didn't trust Alyssa and Terrance to win competitions for him. So why would he want to risk Monte going up and then them taking a shot at Monte, and then he's left with just Terrance and Alyssa to win competitions for him? So he's kind of having a very similar dilemma that Michael is, where Michael has to use the veto on either Brittany or Taylor, and he has to choose whether he saves his best friend in the game, his ride or die, or if he saves Taylor, who might be the stronger ally going forward to help him beat the other side. Turner's now going to have a decision to make on whether or not to put up Monte, who he really trusts, or to put up Terrance and Alyssa. And if he does that, that's a very small slimmer of hope that Monte would flip back to Michael, Brittany, and Taylor and vote with them, because you only need 3 votes this week. So you're going to have Michael and whoever he saves. If they can bring Monte over, that's 3, and they can send home Kyle, Alyssa, or Terrance, whoever ends up on the block. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out. Who ends up being the replacement nominee is going to be huge, especially if it's not Monte. Maybe they can get in there and get him to work with them. But it's going to be really interesting to see. So that was another little tangent on there, but it is also a really critical part of the story this week, is who is that replacement going to be. We'll find out on Monday, because that's when the veto ceremony will be, but a lot of interesting conversations are going to happen today and on Monday before. So keep your eye on everything that's going on. Thank you guys once again for watching, and I will see you next time.